Women's wrestling continues to make history. And tonight, you're about to witness one of the biggest matchups yet. It's the #1 ranked Iowa Hawkeyes taking on the powerhouse Vikings of Grandview University. Two elite teams, one electric atmosphere, and a new chapter for the sport we love. Get ready. College wrestling starts now.
Funding for college wrestling has been provided by Paul Huford, David Ryan, Jim Miller, Randy Majors, Tim Johnson. For a full list of funders, visit iowapbs.org/college wrestling. And by Friends, the Iowa PBS Foundation, as well as generations of families and friends who feel passionate about the programs they watch on Iowa PBS.
It's college wrestling. Joining you from Waukee Northwest High School in Waukee, Iowa. It's a women's duel featuring the #1 ranked NCAA team in America, the Iowa Hawkeyes, versus NAIA powerhouse Grandview Vikings. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Johnson, along with 10-time NCAA champion coach Jim Miller and America's premier women's wrestling journalist, Kyle Klingman. And guys, this is an exciting atmosphere.
It feels great in here. The energy's off the charts. This is a blast.
Great way to start the season here.
First duel between the two of them ever. Let's take a look at the matchups. The matchups will start at the bottom there in the lighter weights. What do you see, Kyle?
First half is incredible. You have All-Americans across the board. It really comes down for the Hawkeyes to 103 and 117, two returning national finalists. For the Hawkeyes, Sterling Diaz and Brianna Gonzalez, they'll have to set the tone.
What do you see at the top, Jim?
Well, I see two local in-state girls, Lily Luff and Libby Dix for the Hawkeyes, and Angela Prijovic all the way from Belgrade, Serbia at 207 for Grandview.
Well, let's go to the PA announcer and for the national anthem.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise with me if you are able as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem will be performed by Keynote Varsity Jazz Choir from Waukee Northwest.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the
Let's talk a little bit about the keys to the meet. Kyle, what do you see?
I see that Iowa's going to be able to show off their depth. I think they have unprecedented depth in the history of college wrestling, especially at 103. That's not even their starter. Presumably right now, she's probably in second place right now, but you look at this. Take the fight to Iowa for Grandview. That's going to be important because they aren't favored in this, so they have to fight hard in every position. Even in losses score in freestyle, if you score points and don't get pinned, you can score points for your team. That's going to be crucial.
Jim?
Yep. No, man, I like this crowd, this beautiful facility. Got a lot of energy in here. We had a great high school meet right before and leading off to the kickoff of the first, really, Iowa PBS women's featured duel.
Yeah, and both sides of the gymnasium full. We had Ankeny versus Raccoon River wrestling, and it went down to the final match. And, woo! Get ready now for 103 pounds. Judy Sandoval. You're looking at her. She's from El Paso, Texas. J.M. Hanks High School, kinesiology major.
From the Hawkeyes.
She was third last year in NAIAs, and she's going to be going up against Sterling Diaz, a redshirt junior out of Las Vegas, Nevada, from the Slam Academy. Diaz versus Sandoval. We're going to get her started at 103. Iowa versus Grandview.
And Diaz sets the tone. She's good at this. She likes to be out early, and she's an aggressive wrestler. She's been a U17 world silver medalist, so she knows how to get the energy. She's popular on the team. I think she's the right person to start this off for the Hawkeyes.
Two-time All-American. She was been a finalist in the what was prior to the NCAAs, first year of NCAAs.
Right.
And this is interesting because with the first year of the NCAAs, so they have the best depth at 103 in the country. They only have one slot. So last year they had 15 available spots. This year, because it's NCAA sanctioned, they only have one spot per weight, and that's going to make a difference as you get down to the home stretch. Last year they had 32 qualifiers for national. This year it's 18. So we'll see. There's a big battle right now at 103 for the top spot. Sterling Diaz in the mix for it.
Three-way battle there at 103 for Iowa Hawkeyes.
Val Solorio, Rianne Murphy, and Sterling Diaz.
And here Diaz had a step out earlier for a 1-0 lead. Put your foot outside the line, it's a point.
Talk a little bit about the individual scoring, Kyle.
Rules are different. If you've watched folk style, there's a 3-point takedown. There is not that in freestyle. You can score a step out. So if your foot steps out of bounds, that's 1 point. A takedown, as you would think of it in folk style wrestling, is worth 2 points. Feet to back is 4 points. And if we see the popular grand amplitude, that is worth 5 points for the score.
Judy Sandoval doing a good job. She's ranked second in NAIA. Really very technical. You can see her trying to work the arms 2-on-1.
We'll talk more about the coaches, but it's kind of interesting here. Coach Crinzy comes from the high school that he recruited Judy Sandoval from, Hanks High School in El Paso, Texas. Coach Crinzy started out his high school career in El Paso. We'll talk about him later. Then he went to Sunnyside High School in Arizona and ended up in Iowa wrestling for Nick Mitchell at Grandview. And here he is at his alma mater as the head coach for the women's team.
And you see that point there, that's called an activity clock point. So they get put on the activity clock. It's 30 seconds. If the person that does not score gets put on the activity clock, the opposing wrestler gets a point. So that can be crucial down the stretch. So right now, Sterling Diaz has that 2-0 lead.
Diaz, nice low single, trying to cut off to the double. Nice job by Sandoval scrambling. She's a good scrambler, but Diaz gets the step-out point.
Diaz on the step-out.
2 periods in each match, 3 minutes each, with a little break in between.
Little break, 30 seconds in between. So you, unlike folk style wrestling where you just go right to the top bottom neutral situation, you have a 30-second break, start in neutral. And the other thing we didn't mention is there's no back points. It's just exposure. So if you have one short little tilt, you get 2 points for that.
Yep, don't have to hold them there. 20 seconds left. Diaz, 3-0 lead.
And this has been a good job by Sandoval.
Yeah.
Sterling Diaz can really get to her offense early to be able to hold it to a 3-0 lead. Presumably at the end of the first period, this is a good job by Sandoval. She's holding tight.
Short time here in the first period, and the score 3-0. They'll take that 30-second break, come back for the next 3 minutes.
Interesting what you saw there. You saw Sterling Diaz be able to get to her offense. She hit that low single. Good job of just defending that by Sandoval. Clearly the aggressor was Sterling Diaz, had the 2 activity clock points and one activity clock point, 2 step outs. That's why you have the 3-0 lead.
There's the rankings, as I said. NCAA first year as an official women's sport. Iowa, the #1 ranked team in the nation. There's the wrestling's top 5. All classes together. There's no Division I, Division II. Here's NAIA, Life University, and Grandview #2, William Penn #3. So the Iowa schools right up there at the top. Jim, you and I were at an evening with Dan Gable down at Atlanta, and the Life University team were there. They're a lively bunch, and they're really tough.
Men and women, man, they are really, they love wrestling down there, and they treated us great down there, didn't they?
That was a great crowd down in Atlanta for an evening with Dan Gable. They came out and supported it, and women's wrestling just growing all over the nation. Female wrestling, girls wrestling in high school and in college. It's an exciting time for women in this sport.
Important distinction here. So let's just say the match ended 3-0. That would be 3 team points for Iowa and 0 for Grandview. So that's why it's important for Sandoval to get a point on the board, because even if it ends 3-1, she would score a point for her team and then 3 for Iowa if this situation holds.
And you also notice headgear is optional. I mean, Diaz wearing headgear, Sandoval chose not to.
Seems like Diaz is slowing down a little bit. Her feet not moving as fast.
Yeah, just interesting to see if Diaz can get back to that low single. She was successful there earlier, to see if she can get back to that. But Sandoval, if she's going to win this match, you're at 1:40 to go. She's really got to get on something. She's got to take that fight to Iowa at this point in order to stay in the match. Takedown gets you within 1 point. So Sandoval halfway through, she really has to be the aggressor.
Diaz really doing a good job keeping her hands free. Sandoval trying to tie her up, tie her hands up, get a 2-on-1, but Diaz has done a good job so far.
Shout out to another great journalist that just checked in with us and said, great job, boys. Jason Bryant says, hey.
Glad he's watching. Would expect nothing less. Appreciate that. About a minute to go here. This is interesting because Sandoval has been in the match. She's done some good things here, but as we said earlier, you got to get on the board. So scoring a point really is fundamental for Grandview to score that team point. So there's a lot at stake here. It's not just a win or a loss, it's how you get team points, and we've seen that come into play often.
Nice shot, nice high crotch by Diaz. But Sandoval likes to scramble. She likes this position. She's comfortable here. She's going to try to lift her up toward her back, but Diaz staying really low all the way down. Makes it hard to lift her back up. So good job, 34 seconds left. Sandoval really got to get busy here. Nice shot.
It's on Sandoval right now. She really has to push the pace with 20 seconds to go. It's still 3-0. Even if you can get a step-up point, this would be big. You just have to keep moving forward at this point. Maybe a caution in 1. Are they going to call for it?
There it is, caution in 1.
Are they going to confirm it?
Yeah, there's 2 judges, and 2 out of the 3 have to agree.
So they're looking here to see if they're going to call it. So essentially that's just a stalling where they say you aren't putting enough effort into it, you're backing up, and they can call a caution to 1. They did not give it, so they confirmed.
Sandoval in on the single leg. So close, but not enough. They score 3-0 win for Diaz, 3-0 Iowa.
Team point. Grandview. So it worked out that way. 3-0 score for the match, 3-0 score for the University of Iowa over Grandview at this point after 1 match.
There's your winner, Sterling Diaz.
Just look right in here. Diaz switches off.
Yep, in there.
We're ready to wrestle at 110 pounds.
No takedown scored in the match.
Number 7 ranked, Tristan.
We're getting ready for 110-pound weight class for Grandview. Tristan Nita, Jr. from Milwaukee. Kalani, Hawaii, nursing student.
Wrestling for Iowa.
And for Iowa, Nyla Valencia from Morgan Hill, California, and Sobrato High School. If you recognize the name, there's some pretty good wrestlers named Valencia, and her younger brother, Aiden, is right in the mix at Stanford this year. He's tough as well.
He's tough. He's fun to watch.
Tristanita earlier this week said that Hawaiians have a special bond, so you know where Clarissa Chun is from. She's from Hawaii. Tristanita's from Hawaii. I know who the Clarissa's going to be cheering for, but there is that special bond between Hawaiians, so I'm sure they'll be taking a picture afterward.
Clarissa Chun, one of the all-time greats, and Hall of Famer, National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Whoa, there's an arm throw. Attempt.
No score. No score here. Oh, nothing. She goes right back to do it, too. Oh, nice job by Nita.
Big score for the Vikings.
That is a big score, because for Tristan Nita to get on the board first here against someone as high level as Nyla Valencia, that is huge for Grandview right now with 2:03 to go, 2-0 lead. Nita coming out, setting the tone.
Another, here it is. You see the arm spin. Valencia in on a shot, looking to score, and she does. 2-point takedown.
Now for Valencia, she ties it up, but she holds criteria.
All right, so this is important distinction too. So you see 2-2, but because Nyla Valencia scored last, she has a criteria lead. So there is no overtime in freestyle. At the end of 6 minutes, if it goes that far, the match will be over by some sort of criteria.
And right now, Valencia would win the match if it ended 2-2 like right now.
Interesting situation here at 110 as well. So Nyla Valencia has been injured the last 2 seasons. She is actually favored right now in the Iowa lineup over 2 returning national champions. Emily Gonzalez is a national champion. Ava Bayless a national champion. Nyla Valencia has been injured, and she's probably the best option at this point for the University of Iowa. So again, you see the depth at 103, 110. It is unprecedented for the Hawkeyes.
Well, and let's make it personal there. That says a lot about Valencia as far as overcoming double ACL, surgeries coming back, and it's interesting. Coach said she has she's a pre-med student, wants to be perhaps a doctor, and her interests are all over the place, except orthopedics seems to be right in there right now, and she's had a lot of experience at university hospitals there in Iowa City, and so she's on a track to of pre-med, but showing a lot of courage of overcoming adversity.
I'll tell you what, the first time I heard her in an interview, meaning Nyla Valencia, I said, this is one of the smartest people I've ever met. She has that high-level skill, great public speaker.
Well, we got front headlock by Nita, in a tight front headlock here. Nice try to arm drag out, nice, and then Valencia right back in on a shot. Good defense by Tristan Nita. It's going to end 2-2 after this first period.
Well, credit Tristan Nita. She came out firing. She came with the offense. This is a little bit of a surprise for me. I thought that Nyla Valencia might have a bigger gap by this point. She has the criteria lead, but to be 2-2 right now, Nita's in this.
For sure.
Nita, a junior, as well as Valencia, also a junior. We head to the second period here at 110. It's 2-2. The first takedown by Nita. Valencia answered with a takedown.
Oh, nice headlock. Nice headlock, but it looks like Valencia's going to slip out of it.
And again, a nuance. They have a slip throw in freestyle, so in folk style, that would be a takedown, but they're going to bring it back to their feet, slip throw, no points.
They reward an execution of the effort.
Right.
And that's the biggest difference between freestyle and folk style. Freestyle rewards execution, folk style rewards control.
Great match here, 2-2. Front headlock by Valencia. She brings her down, wants to do a go behind. She's looking to. Looks like she's going to score. She does.
2 points for Valencia. Goes out in front 4-2. A little more than 2 minutes left in the match.
But also look at the scenario and how it works. So she scores that 2 points, but if Nita scores the next takedown, she would be in the lead by criteria. So even though that's important, that's a big takedown, it's not out of reach for Nita at this point.
Correct. Yeah.
She would have had to, Nita would have had to score anyway, a takedown anyway, because she was behind on criteria. So in one sense, you're saying that wasn't a killer takedown.
It was, yeah, it does not, it's not fatal at this point. Now, in that situation, could she have gotten a step out and gotten the lead? Yes, she could have, but right now, if she gets the takedown, she's going to have the criteria lead. We're halfway through, and she's well within the reach of this match.
Nice go behind again by Valencia. Got to get her down. There it is. Hits her knee. That's 2 points.
Looks like Valencia's getting the motor running.
You do. You see this. She's putting the pressure on right now, and you see why Nyla Valencia is one of the best wrestlers in the country and why the coaching staff thinks so highly of her and what she can do. And again, with this situation, even if it's a technical superiority win, points will be scored for Grandview. So it'd be 4 for Iowa, 1 for Grandview if it ends up in a technical superiority. And in this situation, Nita wants to keep it to a decision. That would give a point for Grandview, 3 points for Iowa.
Inside trip, Valencia. Another takedown. She's trying to get a gut wrench here because if she can expose her to her back, that'd be another 2 points.
Important for Nita to just keep the pressure and keep the pace going here. She can keep this to a decision. Clock isn't, the clock was rolling now. And so unlike folk style, there is no major decision. It's just all decision, technical superiority, or fall.
Valencia trying to snap her down. Nita hanging in there. Nita had been game in this match.
So she did just what you were talking about, Kyle. There's the end. It's 8-2. She holds it to a decision.
3 points for Iowa, 1 for Grandview. So that's big. She did a good job in that match. She kept the pressure on, got the inaugural takedown, got the first takedown, so she's going to score a point for her team.
Here we go, nice inside trip by Valencia. Beautiful takedown.
As we get ready for 117, we go to the number 3 ranked NAIA wrestler at 117, Maya Angelou Colon from Mulberry, Florida. Mulberry Senior High. She's a junior going up against the number 4 ranked 117-pounder at the NCAA's, Brianna Gonzalez, a redshirt junior out of El Monte, California, Aurora High School.
Brianna Gonzalez, an interesting situation. She was a national finalist against her teammate, Felicity Taylor, in 2024. Got 5th last year, 3rd at Women's Nationals, and then she won this year's U.S. Open and reached Final X. So she was 1 spot away from making a senior world team. So Brianna Gonzalez is the class of the field.
Felicity Taylor made the world team, and she's an Iowa girl. And Maya Angelou Colon, Florida, ranked number 3 NAI.
Silver medalist, a 2-time Puerto Rico senior world team member, and a U20 Puerto Rico world team member.
Good scrap so far on their feet.
And you notice the height difference. Gonzalez about 4'11", so she's kind of changed levels already just with her height. And I think that if she can get to those leg attacks, she's got great leg attacks. That's just going to be the key right here. Get to Colon's legs.
If you're just joining us, Tim Johnson along with Jim Miller and Kyle Klingman, bringing you the meet between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Grandview University Vikings. Two great matches to start out at 103 and 110. The score 6-1 in favor of the Hawkeyes with their 2 wins. Going all the way, though, and really tough fight by Grandview so far.
You're right. That's the operative word. They took the fight to Iowa, and they took some matches that could have been blowouts, and they kept them competitive. So you got to credit Grandview. They must have done a good job of game planning because they've looked good the first 2 matches.
Maya Angelie on the attack here.
See what they're going to call here. They call step up. They do.
Yeah, Maya Angelie gets a 1-point step out. She was 4th last year in the NAIA. Here it is, and she really pressed her.
Step out, and what have we seen the trend here? The last 2 matches, Grandview has gotten on the board first.
Another shot by Maya Angelie Cologne. Wow. Where do we get a call here? 1 point. Gonzalez.
So that's because Maya Angelie Cologne stepped out first.
Yep.
So we see that 2-1 score for Cologne.
Cologne's interesting. She only wrestled 2 years in high school.
Yeah,
and
incredible story.
And now she's on the Puerto Rico senior world team, just coming back from a competition at 110 pounds. So she's had to put on a little weight here for her college season. And just getting back from, she's going to be representing Puerto Rico at 50 kilograms, which is around 110.
Nice shot by Iowa. She's in on a shot. Gonzalez.
What she need to do here, Jim?
She needs to limp her arm out, get that arm free, which she did, and there you go. Got a takedown.
Also on that passivity, kind of like stalling. If there's a lack of action,
and one thing we haven't seen yet, we haven't seen a turn on top.
No.
I would have thought at this point, given the high caliber we have, that we would have seen that. So we'll see when we see the first turn.
There's a look at the coaching staff there. Clarissa Chan, Gary Mayab, the associate head coach.
Nice shot. Great period. Both these guys, they scrap.
3-2.
Yeah, you know what?
In this season of giving, here's a look back at the Iowa women's wrestling team's new tradition, cooking meals for families at their local Ronald McDonald House. With only so much space inside, the ladies had to take shifts to allow the entire team to rotate through and contribute. Is that awesome or what?
So cool. Love that picture, and to see them doing that, that's a big part of the sport. Glad
you know that Ronald McDonald House is right outside Carver Hawkeye, and so what a neat relationship there. And, you know, talking to Coach Chun, she's all about community. She's all about family as far as the team, and they're leading the way there.
Some of these young girls, a lot of young girls here watching, I'm sure on TV. Maya Angelie Cologne only wrestled 2 years in high school. And already, I mean, you can see the advancement she's made in the sport. Nice arm drag to a single. Wow, by Gonzalez. Right into now an arm bar.
Good job. And once you get that arm trapped, it can be tough. But
there she goes. Turns it over. Beautiful job. Got her in trouble.
And a lot of time to settle in here. A little more than 2 minutes. What Gonzalez is trying to do is just settle down. Use her hips as an anchor. Nice fight. Nice fight. Look at
Nice job. Very close.
Nice job of fighting through. Big points for Cologne. Great fight. I mean, for Gonzalez, great fight by Cologne.
Again, as we compare folk style to freestyle, she just got 2 points for that. She could have held her back the entire time and only got the 2
arm
points.
drag to the drag double, drag single, right to an arm bar.
Gonzalez really has to be thinking about tech at this point. She has a 5-point lead. If she can really get on this, she can score some big team points if she can get to her offense.
Cologne 2-on-1. Snap down. Gonzalez, like you said, TJ, she is compact and strong.
One minute left in the second period here. 7-2, the lead, Gonzalez over Cologne. Women's wrestling in college, Iowa, in their first year of the NCAA. Women is the 91st sanctioned sport in the NCAA. Of all sports, the 91st sanctioned sport. They'll have their NCAA National Championship at Extreme Arena in Coralville in March.
Oh, nice shot. Cologne got in, but now Gonzalez does nice go behind. Gets another score, 9-2.
9-2 coming down to the wire, 15 seconds to go. If she could get to a 13-2 or a 12-2, she would get that technical superiority, which would be 4 for Iowa and 1 for Grandview.
But if it holds this way, it'll be again 3
for Iowa and 1 for Grandview.
Because
that's what it's going to hold. Correct.
And that's how it'll end. The winner, Brianna Gonzalez, 9-2, 3 points for the Hawkeyes, and 1 point for the Vikings. The score now, Iowa 9, Grandview 2.
And interesting in this, we have back-to-back matches where we have twins. So I know that Brianna Gonzalez and Emily Gonzalez were twins. The Campbells have twins for the Grandview Vikings, so kind of cool.
Yeah, great call, Kyle. We meant to mention twin sister Emily Gonzalez, and now Katie Campbell out there, and her twin sister Kaylin on the team with her. Katie, the Campbells, both seniors. They're from Crawfordsville, Indiana, Montgomery High School. She's in veterinary medicine, going up against Callie Lang.
Callie Lang.
From Marysville, Ohio. Marysville Early College High School. She was an All-American last year. 7th.
Love this story with Callie Lang. She wasn't a blue chip recruit, just really worked her way in. The more matches, the better for Callie Lang. She's gritty, she's tough. She embodies the Iowa style.
Nice fireman's carry attempt by Campbell.
Good job of facing by Lang. And there's a step out, and the first score, again, goes to Grandview.
Yeah, they came to wrestle.
Get after it.
They came to wrestle.
An expected dogfight in this match. Both these wrestlers have that type of fight, and they go after each other. I think this is going to be a fun one.
Katie Campbell, a 3-time NAIA All-American.
Callie Lang is ranked 6th in the NCAA, and she's a 2025.
She's the number 6th ranked 124-pounder in the NCAAs this year. Callie Lang. Katie Campbell, ranked number 2 in NAIA.
And you can imagine with having twin sisters, they do fight a lot in the wrestling room. So they carry on the tradition. Well, twins have to fight.
And we heard that from the coaches.
Yeah.
They have to kind of separate them sometimes.
Only can drill together. Only can drill. Front headlock by Lang. But Katie Campbell doing a good job squaring up, not letting her get an angle. Holding on to that elbow. Oh, dresser jump attempt.
Callie Lang's dad, Jesse, wrestled for Ohio State, and he is one of the owners of Rudis. You know, the Rudis Wrestling Company.
Of course I know. I worked out in my Rudis shirt today.
You did it? Yeah. So her dad is the man behind the vision of Rudis.
2-on-1 by Campbell.
And again, we've seen this trend.
Yep.
Third match in a row where Grandview has scored the first point. So we'll see if they can keep the pace going into halftime and then in the second period. If anyone can do it, it's Katie Campbell.
We will be taking a halftime after this match. 10-minute break.
Go behind by Lang. Campbell still has not given that up. Lang still attempting. Oh, another fireman attempt, but Lang goes around for a big takedown.
Callie Lang goes out in front. The junior gets 2-point takedown to go out in front 2-1.
Bring them back to their feet. 8 seconds to go. Lang holds that 2-1 lead.
You know, you were talking about Lang being under the radar. Well, she gets in there last year. She wins 40. She had 40 wins last year.
Incredible.
15-1 in dual meets.
And I think that's what she needed. She just needed that experience to continue to develop through the course of the season. Great story for Iowa.
During last weekend's football championship, former Iowa wrestler Nenea Estrella was recognized as a recipient of the Big Ten's Jackie Robinson Community and Impact Award for helping her hometown of Lahaina, Hawaii, recover from the 2023 wildfires by organizing toy, clothing, sports equipment, and food pantry drives in Iowa and online. Yeah, I was watching that, and I saw her come out to receive that award. Then she throws up a big Hawkeye.
She does.
Dang right. She gave a little flex there and showed the Hawkeye emblem. That was pretty cool. I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah,
but she took, yeah,
awesome.
That's really neat.
Here we go, second period. Campbell on the attack again.
Grandview needs this. This is one they can win. This is a 3-time All-American. You've got to get in the match. You've got to take the fight, as we said in the keys to the meet. This is a match where Katie Campbell can take the fight to Callie Lang.
Yeah, Coach Krenze was saying she's the hardest worker in the room, and you can tell she comes with a hard pace, the snaps, and you just got it from a snap there. You want to get that, lower the level and get the penetration in there and get past the head-hands defense.
And you look at them, it looks like mirrors of each other. It just looks like you're wrestling each other. They just both have that style, straightforward. Who can come out on top at the end? I think this is going to be a close one.
Nice snap down by Campbell, then a shot. Lang going to her go behind again. She's really done a good job with that. Now she's close to step out, getting her to step out, but there's the go behind.
2 more.
Iowa does, no one does it better than Iowa, the snap down, go behind. Men and women.
Also in freestyle, there's not a stalemate like we have in folk style. We have a stalemate. The referee will call for action. If there's not action or improvement towards scoring, they'll go ahead and just call the wrestlers back up, put them back neutral and center, and we'll start again. So no stalemates, no rise.
Shot by Campbell. Nice single. Trying to turn the corner.
Needs to get her knees underneath her and lift and lift.
Callie Lang doing a good job, keeping a lot of weight on her, pressure on her head. Tough to finish there like that. Good attempt by Campbell.
Campbell really needs a score here, being down 4-1. That's a 2-score match unless you're able to get feet to back, which we haven't seen an indication that could happen at this point. So she's really got to get on her offense because she's going to need 2 scores to win this match.
Grandview brought some fans, man. Making a lot of noise behind us for Campbell. There's a shot, and there's another go behind. She's making a living there.
6-1 now with 20 seconds left in the bout.
Sending the lead. We'll see if Lang really commits to that leg lay. She hasn't yet, coming back up. They're going to go back to their feet here to close this out.
Like you said, Kyle, we have not seen a turn yet.
Haven't seen one.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised by that. I thought at this point of the meet, given the high caliber we have, that we would see that.
Hard, high-level effort by both these girls, but Callie Lang, another takedown, ends up 8-1.
And with the final score of 8-1.
Hard-fought match again. 3 more points for the Hawkeyes, 1 for Grandview. It's 12-3 at intermission. Great first 4 matches.
Intermission. So when we get in session, stand for the restrooms. We will have a brief intermission.
We'll go to break now with the Iowa Hawkeyes leading the Grandview Vikings 12-3, and we'll be back with more wrestling.
Enjoy the architecture, history, and culture of some of Iowa's most iconic buildings with the Historic Buildings of Iowa collection. The entire series is available with Iowa PBS Passport today.
Hello, I'm Andrew Bott, Executive Director and General Manager of Iowa PBS. Our statewide network depends on viewers like you. We tell Iowa stories, and your gift to Iowa PBS helps us share those stories in every corner of our state. When you give, you make a difference, supporting high school sports championships, Iowa arts and culture, Iowa historical documentaries, and educational programs for all ages. From our Iowa PBS family to yours, season's greetings, and thank you for considering a donation to Friends of Iowa PBS. Together, we can keep these programs free for all to enjoy.
On the next Road Trip Iowa, we're traveling Iowa's portion of the Great River Road, from Dubuque to Davenport. We'll visit riverside communities, thriving with history, enterprise, and art. Saturday at 9 a.m.
Hi, I'm Jim McDonough, and you're invited to join a cozy audience around my piano as we ring in the holiday season in the warmest way possible with our favorite holiday music. And I'll share some of my holiday memories along the way. It's a concert to remember when we're home for Christmas.
Coming up next on Iowa PBS.
We're Iowa PBS. We cover Iowa and the world. We're Market to Market, an Iowa Press. We're high school sports. We're science. We're adventure. We're drama and mystery. We're the arts. And we're Iowa's storyteller. We're lifelong learners. We're family first. We're educational. We're trusted. We're valued. We're essential. Your support makes all of this happen. Give today at iowapbs.org/donate.
You're watching statewide Iowa PBS.
It's college wrestling. Tonight from the Carver Hawkeye Arena.
For years at the network, we did Division I wrestling only. At some point in time, we saw, wow, they have so many in-state schools here at the Division III level. And so we started televising the Iowa Conference Championships.
Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Brown with Tim Johnson.
I think it's wonderful that public television is on the forefront of doing women's wrestling. Oh, my gosh. You know, women's wrestling is just, both on the international level and now on the collegiate level, it's becoming a fastest growing sport. And wrestling fans are lucky to have that sort of coverage now in the state.
Welcome back at intermission, where the score is Iowa 12, Grandview 3. We just heard from Doug Brooker, longtime producer, director of college wrestling on Iowa PBS, reflecting on his legacy here and the advancements in covering the sport for TV. Speaking of women's wrestling, Iowa PBS is proud to announce the addition of Girls State High School Wrestling Championships this February. With me to discuss that are Kylie Walker with the Girls Athletic Union and Katie Biscaglia, wrestler with Raccoon River Wrestling. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this
We're
is
excited.
great. What an exciting atmosphere tonight. First of all, we're going to take a look at Katie wrestling. And I'll tell you what. Katie, you put on a show out there, but I know your history. You've won 3 state titles, going for your 4th.
Yep.
Here's a picture tonight, and this is an example of the question I'm going to ask you. She was tough, your opponent. You had to wrestle hard. Is it completely different from your freshman year to your senior year?
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, the girls have just gotten so much better. There's been so much growth in the sport and throughout the state, even the competition that we have in a team, and it's really great to see that.
Well, and congratulations. You're going to go to Wartburg next year.
Yep,
okay?
Go Knights.
And good luck on going to a 4th. And speaking of the growth of wrestling, women's wrestling, Kylie, wow, you're going to be at Extreme Arena for the state championship. PBS is going to be covering it, but there's a new schedule. And I guess my question is, this is growing so fast. Is it going to outgrow Extreme Arena?
I know, it's a good problem to have. It really is. We had over 3,600 wrestlers this year in their body comp assessment. So that's some growth from last year even, so we're really excited to see that. We did change our schedule this year to accommodate the growth that we're seeing with hopes that we can stay around as long as possible at Extreme Arena, but we're happy that we're growing that much.
Well, it's great. I'll tell you what, it's the excitement around here tonight with Ankeny and Raccoon River. We are filling the place on both sides. You had great atmosphere, and now everybody stayed around for the college experience here. This is wonderful, and we thank you both for stepping in and talking about the growth of female and women's wrestling in Iowa and the nation. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Here's the schedule coming up for high school wrestling, girls and boys. Friday, February 6th. Boys, February 21st. That's the schedule for Iowa PBS, covering the finals of these 2 great championships. We'll go to break and come back with more wrestling with the Hawkeyes leading the Vikings 12-3. We'll be back with more wrestling.
Coming up on Studio 3 Live. We welcome the Texas Tenors to the stage.
Santa Claus is coming tonight. Santa Claus is coming tonight. So put out some cookies and leave on the lights. Santa Claus is coming tonight. All year I've been good as I can.
Fridays at 8:30 on Iowa PBS.
Every county in Iowa has a story worth investigating. From river valleys to rolling farmland, Find Iowa uncovers the culture, history, and science behind all 99 counties. Click, explore, and be inspired. Scan the QR code and discover the stories in all 99 counties with Find Iowa.
Coming up on the next episode of Iowa Life, we'll meet the crew behind the Field of Dreams.
I remember the first day I came out to the movie site and I got to drag the field for the first time, and it was like I just got chills.
Follow an Iowa composer to Abbey Road Studios. And learn about driver's ed in the Oak Ridge neighborhood. All that and more on the next Iowa Life. Sunday at 10:30 on Iowa PBS.
Such a meaningful part of Iowa PBS is the coverage of unique Iowa events. And part of that is our high schools and our kids' programs, whether it's athletics or otherwise. The state fair coverage, that's such a part of the fabric of Iowa. And I think just the programming that covers things meaningful to our people in our state.
Donate today and support Iowa PBS.
Back at Waukee Northwest High School for the big women's dual meet between University of Iowa and Grandview University. I'm Tim Johnson, along with my partners Kyle and Jim. And Kyle, we talked about the atmosphere, the environment, and the fight by these women.
The fight for Grandview was impressive. You see that 12-3 lead for Iowa, but Grandview really did come out and did the keys to the meet. They fought hard.
Iowa did get the 4 wins, and Jim, there was a lot to be happy with for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've kind of dominated. Started out with Sterling Diaz, 103. Nice high crotch right there, finished on the edge. She starts it off for Iowa, comes into Nyla Valencia. Nice inside trip for a score. And she kind of dominated most of that match. 117, Brianna Gonzalez for Iowa. Nice arm drag to a single. Nice drive for a nice takedown right to an arm bar. And she wins as well. And we ended up with Kelly Lang coming up 124 for Iowa versus Katie Campbell. That was a dogfight here, really tough match, but Kelly Lang had about 3 goal behinds to win that match.
And just to review the match results, at 103, Diaz defeated Sandoval. At 110, Valencia over Nita. 117, the Hawkeye Gonzalez over Cologne. And at 124, Lang defeated Campbell. The score, 12-3, and now we're going to take a look at the backside. We've got Maya Davis for Grandview going up against Emily Frost for the Hawkeyes. Davis out of Chatham, Illinois, Glenwood High School, going up against Frost from Troy, New York, Tamarack High School.
This should be the fun one. These two are gunslingers. Emily Frost has a world-class headlock. It's what she's known for. Maya Davis is non-stop action. She likes to throw too. It wouldn't surprise me if we see our first 4-point move in this match.
I like that. Gunslinger, you know? Here's Maya Davis with a big comeback last year at home against Devin.
Yes, she did. Looked like she was
early. Davis rallied to win her match off a couple of lateral drops, turning the tables on Patton. She also is an official. Maya Davis is a referee. The Grandview All-American has been doing it for a while. At age 15, she became the youngest female official to referee a wrestling match in her native Illinois. She says the sport needs more young officials. She's a trusted presence at major events like Girls Folk Style and Preseason Nationals.
I love that. It was so cool to see her at Preseason Nationals in Des Moines. She doesn't have to travel far. She can do it right there. Nice paycheck. And she's multifaceted. She likes to coach, wrestle, and officiate. She does it all.
There she is right there, Maya Davis. She's an athletic training major, a 3-time All-American. And as Kyle said, she's a gunslinger. She loves her throws. She's got a brother that wrestles at SIU Edwardsville. She'll be going up against a junior out of Troy, New York, Emily Frost, who's got a nasty headlock herself.
She does, and that's what she's going to go for. She can lull you to sleep, you think you're fine, and then she's going to unleash it. So I know that both sides have scouted this out, but expect some sort of a big move in this match.
Yeah, Maya Davis, brother Drew Davis, 125 for Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. There'll be some scraps in that house, but look at this. We got a scramble going on. Nice job by Maya Davis getting 2. And here we go. No, Iowa. Yeah, another score first score for Grandview once again.
I think it's every
4 in a row.
Yeah, I was going to say every but one.
Yeah, every one but one.
Come out and got the first score. Hawkeyes have clawed their way back. They've got all the wins after 4 matches, and we'll only have 8 matches tonight because we have 2 open weights, and that's why we took the halftime after 4 matches. Hawkeyes winning all 4. The score 12-3. But right now, the Viking, Maya Davis, tied up 2-2.
And Davis, this isn't her normal weight, so she's moving up from 124 to 131. She's one of 2 national finalists for Grandview. So this is big time for Grandview to come out here and get a win on the board. This is important for the Vikings. And the more they tie up, the more you can see some of those fireworks come into play. If they keep it in a phone booth, we could see something special happen here.
There it is. There's an attempt for a headlock. And there she does get the headlock. Emily Frost.
Oh, she's
has
got
her in
that
trouble. It's tight.
4 was offered, but 2 was confirmed.
Boy, there's a lot of fight there.
Once again, we have to have 2.
Maya Davis bridging hard. Emily Frost trying to settle in here.
She might get out of this. She's fighting hard.
Wow.
She got a long way to go. 50 seconds. She's been on her back for a long time. She is working her way out. Whoa.
There it was. Looked like the ref thought it might be a fall, and there it is.
There's the fall, the headlock. And
5 points for a fall. Doesn't matter how many points were scored in the match by any wrestler. If you get a fall, you get 5 points for your team. That's big time for Iowa.
Hawkeyes go up 17-3 with that 5 points for the team. The fall by Emily Frost. And we'll move on.
And when you're good with a headlock like she is, you can throw it from anywhere, and we saw that in that match.
Stay connected with Iowa PBS Sports no matter where you're watching from. Join the conversation. Follow us on Facebook and X and use hashtag Iowa PBS Sports to enjoy the championships with other fans. You know, Jim, you're the director of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Dan Gable Museum, and that's in Waterloo. And this is a big year, speaking of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, America's shrine to the sport of wrestling in Stillwater and Waterloo. The National Wrestling Hall of Fame will be celebrating its 50th anniversary in 2026.
Yeah, what a big, we're so excited about that. And both museums working hard at it. And man, that's a, when you last 50 years, boom.
Since its founding in 1976, the Hall of Fame has preserved wrestling history, recognized extraordinary achievements, and inspired greatness for generations. To learn more, visit nwhof.org.
Lily Luft, Charles City. Shout out to Charles City. I spent 6 years there right out of college as a head coach. Good people up there. Lily
going up against Adrena Turner, the senior out of Davis, California, Davis High School. And as you said, Jim, Lily, a junior out of Charles City. Her freshman year, she got right in there as an All-American, then had some injury plague last year.
Injury plague, but after the injury, she went to the U20 World Team Trials and made the best of 3 finals. So good job here by Luft to get a double out of bounds, 2 points.
She's got a really good blast double. I mean, she just doesn't double and stop. She doubles and drives you off the mat.
Ooh, nice shot there.
Good single by Turner. Almost got a push out there, but Lily Luft comes back, does a go behind.
And Jim, that's not good for Grandview if she's getting that go behind this early. That's just exactly where Lily Luft wants to be. This is her match. She's got it teed up. She can roll here.
Yeah, she can.
Hawks leading after 5 matches, 17-3. We're at 138 pounds. Number 12 ranked Adrena Turner going up against Iowa's own Lily Luft out of Charles City, Iowa. She was 5th All-American 2 years ago, won 30 matches her freshman year. And as Kyle said, after an injury plague last year in college, she was a Pan Am silver medalist and was the finals of the U20 World Team Trials.
Pretty cool what she did that freshman year. She had to step in for Nenea Estrella, who we mentioned earlier with that prestigious award. She was injured. She stepped up and got 5th in the country. So Lily Luft did it right.
There's your
snap another go behind.
Snap and go behind.
Yeah. It's just almost automatic. If you don't get to the leg, you get stopped, and next thing you know, Iowa's hits a go behind for another takedown. 6-0, first period.
You know, we were talking about Coach Grinzy earlier in his 7th year at Grandview, but he's had quite a run and always placing high. But he got to 2nd place, and he's looking to win that NAIA championship so he can get on the board with the men's team that he wrestled for a guy that wrestled for you that just retired, Nick Mitchell.
He sure
what
did.
A legacy.
13 national titles. Nick Mitchell was a 3-time All-American at Wartburg. And, man, just what a great job he's done.
What made Nick unique? Why was he able to have that success?
You know what? He had kind of the plan, the recipe, and took it with him to Grandview. Started the program at Grandview. Oh, nice job by Turner.
What a comeback there for Turner.
And that's what you want. You want to start out after being down 6-0. If you can score early, this really sets the tone for the rest of the period. She can be in this match if she does more of that. And if you notice, they get back to the feet quickly. If you aren't trying to turn, if they see that you aren't going for that, they're going to bring you back to your feet pretty quickly.
You know, the rise of women's wrestling has just been remarkable. I was talking to Mike Moyer, the executive director of the National Wrestling Coaches Association. Since 2000, the NWCA has helped start 451 men's and women's college teams. 218 of them have been women's programs.
Unbelievable.
218 of them women's programs. And it's an exciting time in our sport in the nation.
And it's still growing. We're still getting more and more as we go. And another Turner close to another takedown here, but Lily Luft. Oh, she looks like she does get it. 6-4.
A minute and a half left in the match.
And another difference, if you notice, you can lock hands in freestyle. And folk style, that's a no-no. But here you see it all the time. And that's how you get gut wrenches. That's how you get leg laces.
Here, look, here's the scramble here. A little scramble for the takedown. And Turner comes up on top. Right here, man, nice job.
You probably hear the Grandview fans. They're getting into this. They know if you get a takedown right now for Adrena Turner, she has a 6-6 criteria lead.
Wow. Arm drag to a low single. Got Luft upside down, looking for a Gobi to turn in to get to. Luft trying to hold on to the ankle. And she does score. She takes the lead.
She got a straight shot with her fans as she was coming around. I think it gave her an extra shot of adrenaline.
Lily Luft trying to get a reversal. She needs to score in some way because right now she's behind by criteria.
So look at what happened here. 3 takedowns in the first period for Luft, 3 in the second for Adrena Turner. Turner, because she scored last, has the 6-6 criteria lead.
Not sure what the delay is. Okay, here we go. Turner winning this match.
Because of that, it's on Luft to take the action right now. Adrena Turner has to stay in the middle, but she doesn't have to be offensive.
Nice shot by Luft. There it is. That's her go-to. But if Turner scores in these 13 seconds for a takedown, she'll win the match.
You see Luft glancing at the clock. She knows what she's up against. It's on Turner.
Another takedown by Luft to end it. 10-6.
Lily Luft comes up late, down 6-6, and she comes back late. 1 second left, scores twice, gets a 10-6. There's 1 second. Well, no, that's the end. Okay, a 10-6 win. 3 points for the Hawkeyes, makes it 20-4 now.
That's a
Here's
good
the
scrap.
upcoming schedule for the remaining college wrestling schedule, only on statewide Iowa PBS. Missouri Valley College and Grandview, doubleheader, men and women. You're going to be excited about tuning in on this, especially after tonight. Then, first time ever, two of the best community colleges in the nation, Indian Hills versus Iowa Central. And then a big Iowa State-South Dakota State matchup in Kevin Dresser's hometown gym in Humboldt. And we'll end with Luther at Central.
Good schedule. Just seeing that gets you excited. Why wouldn't you tune into that? That's unbelievable.
All right, now we're at 145 pounds. Grandview's Sophia Delgado out of Miami, Florida. She's a sophomore going up against Cadence Diddick, a sophomore out of Freeport, Illinois.
Diddick in on a single. Nice takedown there to start the match. Looking for a leg lace here. We still haven't seen a turn, have we, Kyle?
We haven't seen one.
Yeah.
Diddick was a U20 World Team member and a Pan Am gold medalist last year.
Pretty cool. I think, especially with Delgado, she's got started late, and so she had a jiu-jitsu background. It's a common path to get into wrestling. She found that first, then got into wrestling, and she's just taken it from there. Came to Grandview from Florida. And just like Nyla Valencia, super smart. You know she's going places. And it's a neat story how she's found the sport.
Kinesiology and health promotion and psychology major. Double major, and very impressive young women we're seeing. Diddick wrestling behind Reese Laramendi. And so the impressive things that she's done being in the U20s and the Pan Americans, and still has to, she's got her work cut out for her to just make the starting team for the Hawkeyes.
Look, that's the thing, is Iowa has unprecedented depth. So top to bottom, some of these are presumably going to be the starters, some not.
Nice headlock attempt by Delgado. Other score.
2 more. Extends her lead 6-0.
First year in the lineup for Delgado. She was the first person out. So you can take 12 to the NAIA championships, 10, of course, for the NCAA championships. And Coach Crinsley said that if they could take 13, Sophia Delgado would have been that person. She's in the lineup now.
Nice change up by Diddick from Iowa for another takedown. Now it's 8-0. There's the first turn we've seen. 2 points, and that's going to end the match. 10-0, technical superiority.
The 10-point separation, the technical superior. 4 points for the Hawkeyes.
Another difference.
Makes it 24-4. 24-4, Hawkeyes over Grandview. You know what's so interesting here? Obviously the Hawkeyes, #1 ranked. They're so deep, really tough. But what Grandview has done as far as the fight every time. But right here,
here's the leg lace that took it over
with a big win
in the match.
Now at 160, Kami Semlicki from Princeton, Minnesota. She is receiving a forfeit at 160. Normally Kennedy Blaze, the premier wrestler on the team, the Olympic silver medalist. She's got a lot going on. There's finals and projects right now, and she's going to be wrestling in the Real American Freestyle event coming up. And then the Hawkeyes at 180 will get a forfeit. Katya Osteen out of Simi Valley, California Royal High School, a transfer from Simon Fraser, is also receiving a forfeit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to our final bout now at 207.
For the Vikings of Grandview,
So now, after 5 points more for Grandview, that's 9. 5 more points for Iowa, that's 29. So the score's 29-9. The Hawkeyes lead, and now we go to 2:07.
Libby Dix.
Libby Dix out of Mount Vernon High School. You shout out to Charles City, I'll shout out to Mount Vernon. And you know what's interesting about Libby is she was also a discus champion, and she was going to go, you know, throw the discus at a high level. And it reminds me of some people from Mount Vernon. Paul Hufford happened to be, you know, a champion shot put, football, and wrestling when I was there. How about Tristan Worth? He could throw the weights as well as play a little football now with the Buccaneers and a state champion. And so this is Libby Dix is carrying on the legacy for the Mount Vernon Mustangs, a freshman, a two-time state champion, and a 3A discus state champion. And guess what? Also an all-conference softball player in the Walmart Conference.
That is awesome.
And her dad, Justin, wrestled for Cornell College.
Okay.
And is the lead loan guy at the Mount Vernon Bank that Dave Ryan, my good friend Dave Ryan, is the president of. And so we've got good Mount Vernon representatives tonight.
And Angela Prijovic is
from Belgrade,
Serbia, and hits a nice single. Trying to turn the corner. Dick's got a shin whizzer there. Oh wow, this is a scrap here.
Dick's did a nice job of getting the weight.
Oh wow. There's a kind of go behind and gets the first score, 2-0. Right to an arm bar. She's been here before, I tell you. Wants to break her down to her stomach right here with that arm bar and run it around, and there she goes.
There she goes.
Oh,
looking for the fall.
She's tough here. Prijovic really doing a good job fighting that off.
She did. Good job of getting back to the neutral position.
Good look there at Gary Mayad, Clarissa Chun.
Tanya Verbeek, three-time Olympic medalist, three-time world medalist.
It's a heck of a staff right there.
I'll tell you what, USA Wrestling wanted Tanya Verbeek so bad, and for years they couldn't get her. And then Clarissa Chun had the lucky charm. She got her down to Iowa, so she's the envy of Canada and the United States.
Clarissa in her first year. They spent time building up the program and recruiting, and third year of competition. First year that women's wrestling is a sanctioned NCAA sport. As I mentioned earlier, the 91st sport to be sanctioned in the history of the NCAA. The NCAA championships will be held at Extreme Arena in Coralville in March.
Correct, yeah, first week of March. And that's exciting that you have that. And to be able to say you're an NCAA champion, I just think that holds a lot. It really makes progress look tangible. And they've earned it. It's been a long road, and there's just so many groups that were behind that. And congratulations to those groups for the work they did, because it was tireless.
NAIA championships a week later, March 13, 14, Wichita, Kansas.
Both the men and women NAIAs are in Wichita.
Yeah, yes, that's correct. Here we are, the last match of the night. Tell you what, Grandview's come to wrestle. They came to wrestle tonight, scored first in a lot of matches, kind of outmatched in a few weights, but I was impressed with how they come out tonight. Iowa, man, a lot of depth, like Kyle said, and you make the weight class there, and they only get 10, right, Kyle? I mean, 10 to the national.
10 to the national, so it's one per weight right now. Yeah. So they really have some dilemmas. They have some things they have to go through, especially at 103, 110. it's going to be tough to decide who they're going to pick. 131's another one of those weight classes, too. It's just it's a little bit up in the air right now.
2-on-1 by Prijovic, a nice single shot like she did before, but has trouble finishing. Libby Dix really squared up, heavy on her, and just, man, it's just hard to score when you have that good base. Libby Dix doing a good job. Only 2-0 though. That's anybody's match here, so if Prijovic can get a score, she'll lead by criteria.
Normal starter for Iowa, J.C. Feller, 4-time national finalist. She has a 5th opportunity to win an NCAA championship. She's placed second 4 times in a row. She's going to try to get it done this season.
Oh, nice foot sweep to a front headlock. Prijovic trying to go behind, get her own takedown. She's close.
Yeah, she could drop down to that ankle instead of being on the calf and pull that in.
Libby Dix so far holding her off. Oh, wow, gets stopped. Oh, that was a big opportunity. Prijovic. I would have put her in the lead if she could have scored there. And she hit a nice foot sweep from a 2-on-1.
But what an opportunity here, though, for Prijovic to end on a high note for Grandview.
Yes.
So I think that should be top of mind for her, that she can get a win. And that's something to build on for the program.
Definitely.
One minute left in this match and in this meet. Libby Dix out front, 2-0 for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes lead 29-9.
2-on-1 by Prijovic, but Dix trying to get wrist control here, slow her down, takes a shot. Prijovic going around, sidewalk, oh my goodness, she takes the lead.
Interesting, the shot. She didn't need to take that shot.
Really didn't.
Yeah, she didn't need to take that shot, and she gave Prijovic the opportunity to do the runaround.
Now Prijovic ahead with 20 seconds left in the match.
Boy, Jim, in this situation, 20 seconds to go, you really have to step up at this point. You can see she's probably a little exhausted. She's just got to go.
Grandview team real excited. 10 seconds left. She could take a step out.
For a caution in 1.
Look, she's going to give up a step out.
She gave up the step out. She stepped out, and it was almost the other way around.
It was. That was so close. That was like tippy toes.
It could have gone either way. And the winner. Great sportsmanship, great battle. Libby Dix gets the win. 3 more points for the Hawks, 32, and a point. More. And so that's 10, 32-10. 32-10, the Hawks beat Grandview, and just a great battle all the way around.
No, I thought that Grandview really brought some energy. They scored first in most of the matches. They really, I thought, showed out pretty well for themselves. Lost a couple matches late, Lily Luff's match and the last match at 207. But I enjoyed it. It's good meet. I think the fans enjoyed it.
We're going to have an opportunity to talk to the winning coach.
Clarissa coming up. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Shot, and here's where Prijovic comes to go behind and gets a lead. 20 seconds left. Libby Dix gets a push out to win the match. There you got the coaching staff pretty happy. Clarissa coming over.
Coach, you got me?
I got you.
So exciting, and I know you were here earlier to view a bit of the high school meet and the environment. What a tremendous environment, huh?
Absolutely. It's so nice to be in Iowa, and I know we're close to where Grandview is, and so it's nice to hear the crowd from their crew, and then see a lot of Hawkeye fans in the crowd too. So, but even better, like getting to come to Northwest High School and get to check out the high school girls prior to our duel. They're the future, so it's really exciting. It's truly the essence of what we break down every day is for her.
Clarissa, Grandview fought hard. How do you prepare for that fight?
We do appreciate this evening. Everyone, please, if you can help us out by
We always tell our women to just be who they are and just go out there and be their best and just come out fighting, just wrestle hard every single minute of the match. And we knew Grandview was going to come up with a scrap, and it was fun.
Made it a good meet, and it was cold probably coming over, Clarissa, Iowa. You love Iowa, though. You love it inside with the wrestling's on.
Yes, yeah. It was a great trip over, nothing stops anything from happening with wrestling in the winter in Iowa, that's what was so great. I feel like if it wasn't snowing, it'd be more packed maybe, and the great thing is it's on Iowa PBS, so people can come check it out.
That's right.
So.
That's a drop, a mic drop right there. Thanks so much, Coach.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love it.
Our next wrestling duel in 2026. That doubleheader, men's and women's doubleheader. Missouri Valley College Vikings going up against the Grandview Vikings Thursday. And for Tim Johnson, along with Jim Miller and Kyle Klingman and the entire PBS production team, so long from West Des Moines, Northwest Waukee High School.
For college wrestling has been provided by Paul Huford, David Ryan, Jim Miller, Randy Majors, Tim Johnson. For a full list of funders, visit iowapbs.org/college wrestling. And by Friends, the Iowa PBS Foundation, as well as generations of families and friends who feel passionate about the programs they watch on Iowa PBS.